podcast, She Inspires Us. I am so excited for today's podcast because we have a special lady in the house. But first, I would like to say how amazing have these stories been on this series, She Inspires Us. If you haven't had already an opportunity to go back and catch up on all the other stories, I highly encourage you to take some time and go and watch whichever episode that you haven't, because regardless of the titles on there, every woman that has been on our podcast has a unique story, and you can always find a way to relate, but most importantly, create that empowered action throughout your week to get you ready to go. And so today we have an amazing human in the house, somebody that I have the privilege of knowing now for quite some time. I've seen her flourish and continue to grow as she's becoming this beautiful butterfly in her journey. I feel this story is unique because she started when she was 18 years old, actually, and just turned 23. So very, very young, but nonetheless has already learned so much inside of everything that we do. So welcome on to our Team Beauty podcast, Miss Lynete. How are you, ma'am?
Good. Thank you, Jerry, for having me tonight.
How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I feel excited, and I'm excited to share everything that what I have for everyone today.
Awesome, Lynete. So, one of the things as you got nominated, those of you that don't know, we have a committee behind this podcast, and
Yes.
you got nominated because you're young, you're beautiful, have amazing results, but more importantly, it's that empowered boss babe vibe that you carry. And so before we get into that, why don't you share with everybody your testimony, your story? How did you come into Team Beauty? What were you doing at 18? How did this opportunity stumble, in your life?
Okay, so I had just gotten out of high school. I was 18 years old. I had just gotten out of a toxic relationship, and it just brought me down. And that's when I was looking for something positive community. And I just felt so heavy, that so much that I was carrying on. And it was time for me to look for something new. And, months later, I found it on social media, on Instagram. I ran into Team Beauty, and I saw the word woman empowerment. I saw good vibes, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and check it out. And sure enough, I messaged the person that put it out there on social media, and I went to the nutrition club. And just when I entered, the vibe, the hello, welcome, was just amazing, because you felt welcome when I did not know anyone in that building. And it was that time when I had my first meal replacement, my shake, and that tea. And once I walked out of there, it was like I went to the restroom, and I was like, oh my God, is this supposed to feel normal going to the restroom? Because I felt really constipated. I was bloated. And right there and then, when I got home, I had a result. I went to the restroom. And ever since then, I fell in love with the products. I remember my first tea, tropical lift all raspberry and cookies and cream shake. So after that, I fell in love with the vibe, the products, and I had a result.
What type of results did you have when you started your journey?
I started as a gain weight and building muscle. I didn't want to go the journey of going through the fast food type, because I knew that I was going to be bloated and not feeling the way that I wanted to feel. So,
I'm going to stop you because you were young, right?
Yes.
You're 18 years old.
Yes.
And you're thin, right?
Yes.
You're thin. Sin pompis,
Yes.
just want to say. If you see her results, you know why I'm saying this.
Yes.
But, you're young, you're thin, and in your mind, you're thinking that you want to create this healthy lifestyle. You don't want to be eating junk food.
Right.
Why was that reason? Like, how was that born in your mind,
Yes.
to do that?
Yes, Jerry. So I would eat hot Cheetos for breakfast, and I was always bloated. I wouldn't go to the restroom at least once a week. And I was like, this is not good for me. I'm so young, and I cannot feel like this anymore. And my pants weren't fitting. I just felt so angry, sluggish. And that's when I was like, you know what? It just gave me a result. So I'm going to go all in and to where I am right now, it's giving me incredible. I feel amazing, and it's giving me the results that I wanted.
Wow, awesome. That's great because it's interesting, that somebody so young. I mean, I started when I was 18 too, right? But we're not normal.
Right.
I was more in today's world. I feel maybe that there's more people that are conscious, about maybe what they want to eat, what they want to put in their bodies. And so maybe that time came for you, right? And so at what point, in that journey, how many months went by when you said, like, I want to take a look at the business opportunity?
A month.
1 month?
Yes.
And why, or how was that encounter?
It took me a month. People started asking me, I love your energy. I love your results that you're getting. I got results within 3 weeks. I was super hungry for my results because I was tired of where I was. And, I was consistent for 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, people started asking me, Lynete, your energy, your results, what are you taking, what are you doing? And that's when I got offered the business opportunity, and I went to an event which is called our STS that we have monthly. And not only did I learn that we get personal results, but we also get to earn an extra income, and that's what I wanted to do as well. Not only feel myself, get results, but help others feel the same way and get them out of the bubble just as I did.
Wow. And what sparked that motivation, to be hungry for results? Was it a little bit of el tóxico or no?
Yes, it was that toxico, and I just wasn't feeling myself because I was always putting myself last.
And so that created that spark and that motivation.
Right. I didn't have my confidence. I was in a small bubble. I didn't let myself out, and that's when I told myself, you know what? It's time for me to shine. It's time for me to get out there and get to know new people and stop leaving the negativity, the toxic community. And until this point, I'm so glad that I left it too, because I'm nowhere compared to where I was before.
Why? I mean, I see you getting emotional and and you're crying, and I know now, you've healed from that and you surpassed it, but why does that get you emotional? What was it at that point that made you lose confidence, that made you feel that you were in this small bubble? What were those thoughts, that either people would tell you or you would tell yourself that kept you there?
I was scared.
What were you scared?
I was scared that people were telling me, oh, you're never going to grow. You're never going to be a better person, and you're always going to stick to negativity. And that you're always going to be surrounded by, decían, siempre vas a ganar un novio tóxico. And I was like, no, I want to be a healthy person. I want to have a healthy relationship, in the future. And so I made that stop. And I made sure, I was like, you know what? I'm going to grow within myself. I want something better. And sure enough, I was like, to this day, I see it. I see myself, growing every day. Is like, wow, to when I started to where I am right now, it hasn't been easy. But it was just that scared part of myself that I wanted to step up into something big.
What do you think that, obviously I believe that, it's what people don't know, right? It's culture maybe even, or our upbringing that makes us just maybe roll that out of our tongues and say certain things that maybe you don't truly mean. But what do you think that caused people to be telling you things like that? You were only 18 at that point, a little bit younger than that, right? Because when you started here, you were 18. So small, young, and people were telling you that you were never going to grow, and you had all these fears inside of you. So what do you think made them say that about you? Was that truly who you were, or was it older people? Was it your friends?
It was my friends, and they saw me really skinny. They thought that I was sick, and I wasn't. It was just that the negative that I was just sunking in, and that I would always put myself last. And that's what it was keeping me behind.
So now that you're obviously here 5 years later, right? You've overcome many things. Now you're confident.
Yes. Yes.
Now you're confident, overcome many things. What is it, inside of Team Beauty? Because, I mean, your coach always says that you were the Team Beauty hater. So
I was.
before we come into here, like, why? Why were you the Team Beauty hater?
I guess because I was always used to doing things by myself, but like secretly wouldn't tell anyone, like nothing, just by my own, right? And that's when I noticed that Team Beauty, it was like, no, it's okay. Like I'll do everything by myself, right? But it got to a point where I was having so much trouble. I got stuck, and I was like, I'm not growing. I'm doing everything by myself, and everything was just piled up because I was still in school. And so that's when I looked at the big picture, and I was like, Team Beauty provides for us everything. All the tools, we have it right there in our hands. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to Team Beauty, refresh my mind again, use what it's for. And, ever since then, I'm so glad that I came back to the tool of using Team Beauty.
Okay. And so now how long has it been since you've been with us?
2 years.
Okay, 2 years. So in these past 2 years, from 21 years old to 23.
Yes.
Right? I mean, we could have lost you at 21.
Yes.
Why lie? So from 21 to 23, you started your personal development journey, right? This Bob's Babe attitude that you carry amongst yourself, I truly want to say that it truly stands out, right? Because, of course, you're a woman, you're an entrepreneur, you're a hustler, you're, looking for the opportunity to create in your life. But also, right, very inspiring to us. I mean, for me, I feel old. I'm 34, and I feel old in front of you. Very inspiring for us to see somebody like you be such a seeker, right? And so what is it for you, inside of this Boss Babe energy? Like, where do you feel that you got those characteristics from? Have you always been like this? Where does that hunger come from of like, I want to learn, I want to do? At what time do you wake up?
At 5 in the morning.
At
4. I wake up at 4 to be ready by 5.
And at what time do you go to sleep?
By 10, 9.
Okay,
9,
correct. Yeah. So, you do things, right, that not all 21, 22, 23-year-olds do. So share with us, where that personal mindset comes from. What do you think has developed your character through it for you to get to where you are now?
Yeah. I've always had organization and, in me. But what grew me even more is our trainings where we have our mentors like you yourself, where we get to, develop ourselves and our business. I've never had a job before, so everything that I've learned financially, how to carry, be organized, how to run a business has all been in this opportunity. So anyone who is watching this, if you've never, have a job before, I'm just here to tell you that this is an opportunity where, I learned everything, whether it be how to talk to people, how to get uncomfortable. We're going to fail, but that's okay because that's how we're going to grow.
Why do you get emotional?
Because I've never, it feels so good to, say this, to where I started, to where I knew nothing, to where I am right now. Sorry. And out there, it's like not many people, teach you this. And it's like, okay, the people would charge you for the mentorship. People would charge you to how to learn finances. People will pay you how to stay organized. There's classes for that. But here in this opportunity has taught me everything in the business to where my business has grown just because of it.
It's so beautiful to see a grateful heart and someone that, is able to kind of like stand still in the middle of it all and know, everything that you're receiving in order to create a business, right? Yeah. You said it yourself, you never had a job, okay? And you went straight into the entrepreneurship mindset. A couple months ago, you called me and you're like, I just broke my personal record, right?
We FaceTimed.
Yes, we FaceTimed. And she was so excited. Like, I just broke my personal record of, production. You had done over $5,000 yourself, right? And it was wild to me, right, that you would call and say, like, I just broke my personal record, because so many times you personally, you have all these things going on, you have these thoughts, all these things, and so you're battling this. At the same time, you're going to school, right? And so you're working, you're going to school. What does Lynette tell herself every morning, like, to keep going? So, is it easy for you? Like, is it, oh my God, I love this, and like, you're always happy and it's easy for you? Or, someone out there that is an entrepreneur, that is thinking of starting the opportunity, like, what would you tell them? Like, what is your personal thought process on creating these habits? Because you're just 23 and you've been learning this thing this whole time. You didn't have a job in the past. So, what is it for you on a daily basis?
What I always, wake up to is like, I get to change someone's life. I get to change someone where they were stuck just the same way I am. And I know that, someone my age, young, who is going through the same thing right now can change, because I can always share my story to them and tell them, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. It's going to take time. You're going to be scared, but you promise you that you're going to get out of that bubble and you're going to become, an even better person that you are right now.
Why did you choose to do business instead of, to get a job? Like, was that scary?
Well, I was applying jobs, but I was like, no, right? It was just like wherever.
Como que. Like, where were you applying?
At the mall, the shoe store. And, they never got back to me, so I just stopped applying. And, that's when I was like, you know what? I don't want like a 9-to-5 job. I want to be my own boss. I want to do whatever I want. No one telling me what to do. And, I want to have this freedom that I'm so young to even travel the world.
And so, you've been going to school. What were you going to school for?
I was going as a nursing RN.
Why?
Because when I got out of high school, I've always said, oh my God, I want to be a doctor. I want to change people's lives. I want to, help them feel better. And I feel like I can not compare, but I can, similars to what I was studying for, and to the business, because I'm learning how to talk to people. I'm learning how to become a better person and help them. And, we are the number one nutrition company in the world. So, it helps them within their journey.
And, in the middle of this process and you building your business, breaking records and everything, you're like, one day, call me again.
Oh, yes.
And you're like, Jerry, guess what? We're going to share it with the world, Lynette. She's like, I dropped out. Well, you didn't drop out, but like, you submitted your stuff. Yes. And like, you're no longer
a
college student.
Yes.
So how was that decision making?
It was hard, but I knew that there was something much better for me. And I know that in the future, I want to run my own nutrition club. And I see the momentum that's coming. I'm seeing my high numbers. I'm seeing my high checks. So I was like, in school, it's going to take me forever to get to where I want to be. When in this business, I can get to it tomorrow, even today. Get what I wanted right now and not wait my 4 years that I am waiting for it to accomplish.
Do you come from a family that it has like entrepreneurs?
No.
And so when you made this decision, what did your family have to say about that?
They were in shock. They supported me.
Your parents?
Yes, my parents supported me. And they were like, Lynette, go in. And I felt in shock too.
Were you scared to talk to them?
Yes, I was. Honestly, I was scared.
What were you telling yourself?
I was like, it took me a few, hours to like tell. I was like, okay, how do I process it? How do I tell them? But I was scared. And once I confronted my parents that I did that, they were like, I'm glad, because this is what they see it in me, that this is what I love. This is what I love to do. They see me every morning, every night, working, for what I love. And they were really proud, and with the support, they were like, "Lynette, we're happy for you. Do what you got to do. If you're happy, we're happy as well."
What else do you want to share with everybody? It's very inspiring, Lynette, that you're making radical, powerful decisions forward. A lot of people want success, and if you're listening and you're looking for that little star, right? You're running on the on the journey, and you're looking for that little star to give you the speed to success. Many times we're looking for that success, but aren't really with our feet on the ground on what it's going to take in order for you to feel success. In my eyes, you're successful. Not because maybe the income that you have goals, right? Obviously, I know you have big goals. Yes. Not the income that you're currently making, but you're very clear on the things that you want. You're making the decisions and the choices that could be hard, that you could have fears in, but that is what is moving you forward into creating the life that you want and that you deserve. So inside of being a boss babe, that mindset of going for it, what is it that you can share? If you had a sister right in front of you, if you had a Team Beauty member right in front of you, what would you tell her in order for her to tackle her goals this week and, truly come out and feeling productive, feeling powerful? What does that look like for you in order for you to be like, no, I'm doing great. Look at my numbers. Look at this. What does that mindset look like?
I would say, every morning, something that I wouldn't do before is doing personal development. That's also that has changed my mindset on how I see things, especially when I got into the business. I was like, what is personal development? What is PD? They'd always put in the chat, but I was like, oh, I don't know, right? Mm-hmm. But then, now moving forward, it's like every morning I do my either 5 a.m. book club or I do my personal development for 30 minutes, right? So instead of scrolling on social media for that drama or negativity, I put my mind into personal development, because that's what's gonna get me going through the day, right? Instead of focusing on social media, I'm gonna think negative. I don't want to. That's not what I want. That's not gonna get me anywhere. So every morning, personal development, and I know that I'm gonna start with the positive mindset every morning and get me through the day. Mm-hmm. And following my agenda, I plan out my day right before I go to bed, and I already know what I'm gonna do. So it's 5 o'clock. This is what I gotta do. So from 5 in the morning all the way to 10 before I go to bed, I know that I have a clear schedule what to do.
Nice. Anything else that you would share with them in order for them to feel empowered, in order for them to feel powerful and unstoppable?
I would say that if you're afraid, it's going to be normal. You're going to be making mistakes. You're going to feel some type of way, but I know that, and just coming from experience, is go all in. You're going to fail, but that is the only way that you're going to get uncomfortable. I know if you're just stuck and you feel fine on where you're at, is that you're not going to get anywhere if you're just feeling comfortable. And at the end of the day, we all have to get comfortable, because that's something that I took in this business is to where I am right now, is because I took a step front and I wanted more. I want more, right? So I was super hungry for it, and just going all in, and always listening to personal development, always with a smile, no matter what happens, and no problem attitude.
Have you had we'll finish with this. Have you had setbacks? Have you had times where you're like, what am I doing? Have you had times where you feel like quitting? Have you had times where the toxicos come back into your life and you're like, no?
Yes.
So, how do you do it to go over those speed bumps?
Yes. So I've had, the toxicos come into direct messages like, hey, I did this. And I'm like, no. But then, I've had days where it's like, oh my God, what am I doing? Or I've had days like, okay, it stopped. Right. But then it's like I go back to my why and how this business has transformed myself and to where I am right now. So everything that I've been through in this business is because of my fears, of my why, to why I started this business, my transformation, and opening up the Team Beauty, especially the empowerment.
Awesome. Lynette, you have totally rocked this call. Your story, so inspiring, so powerful, so beautiful to see you truly like transform. And you continue to learn, you continue to grow. What I can tell you as someone who started at 18 as well is don't be afraid to do the most that you can do every single day. You're single, you don't have kids,
No.
not that our kids are an excuse, right? But right now, you have so much in order to create and build your dreams and truly make that happen for yourself. So, congratulations, and I can't wait.
Can I add something real
Yes.
quick? So something that I also want to share with you is that, sometimes we're scared of asking for help. When we have all of the mentorship, maybe you can compare with someone that you're going through that right now, and we just want to stay, in our bubble and not let it all out. And something that I've learned in this business is always ask for help, because that's what our mentors are here for. That's what this business is here for, because you're not alone. Everyone is going through something day in and day out, and you're rock bottom. No matter what happens, we already know that there's always going to be someone to hear us out.
How often do you talk to your coach?
Every day.
Every day. So, ahí está la respuesta, chicas. There's the response. Thank you so much, Lynette. Everybody watching, don't forget to share, tag us, share your personal takeaway, and don't be afraid to go out there and make boss babe moves. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week.